This is the story of a small town. At the town's railway station, there worked a young boy named Akbar. He was only 15 years old, but poverty had forced him to grow up far earlier than his age. Every morning, he sold tea outside the station. On an old wooden box sat his kettle, a few cups, and some sugar. Akbar's father was a laborer, but due to illness, he could no longer work much. His mother earned a little by doing stitching work at home. But the household expenses were far too heavy. Rent, food, medicine, everything was getting costlier day by day. So Akbar had to quit school and start selling tea to support his family. Every morning, he would call out at the station, "Hot tea, fresh tea, takes away your tiredness, brings joy to your heart." Passengers often smiled at his call and bought a cup. Some people paid him, some walked away without paying. But Akbar never argued. He would think to himself, "I am helpless. What good will fighting do?" At night, however, when he returned home tired, sadness would fill his heart. If only my life could change. If only I could study and become a respected man. But how? I have neither money nor opportunities. One day the station was overcrowded. The train was delayed. People were restless. Akbar was selling tea when suddenly a tall, well-dressed man approached him. The man carried a briefcase, had a serious expression and deep eyes. He said, "Son, give me a cup of tea." Akbar quickly poured the tea with a smile and handed it over. The man sipped it and kept observing Akbar. Then he asked, "Do you work here every day?" Akbar nodded. "Yes, sir, from morning till evening. This is how I support my family." The man finished his tea and then said, "Son, every day you keep calling others, 'Tea, tea.' But have you ever thought? Just calling people is not enough. If you give them something special, they will always remember you." Akbar was puzzled. "Sir, what do I have? I only sell tea." The man smiled gently. "The greatest wealth in this world is not money. It is respect, hard work, and your way of thinking. Remember, the giver is greater than the taker." Saying this, he boarded his train and left. But those words pierced Akbar's heart like an arrow. That night, he lay awake thinking, "The giver is greater than the taker, but what do I have to give? I am poor myself." The next morning, when he reached the station, he noticed a pile of old newspapers and books lying abandoned near the tracks. An idea struck him. "Why don't I clean these and offer them free with tea? Maybe people will like it." So he picked up some newspapers, dusted them off, and when a passenger bought tea, he handed a newspaper along with it. The passenger was surprised. "What is this?" With a shy smile, Akbar replied, "Sir, this is my little gift for you. Enjoy your tea along with some news." The passenger laughed. "That's wonderful." This small act was Akbar's first step toward change. People began to love his unique style. Soon, he was no longer just a tea seller, but a gift-giving tea seller. Within a few days, his stall became popular. Customers came not only for tea, but also for the little extras. Sometimes an old storybook, sometimes a pen, sometimes a toy for children. These were all things Akbar picked from scrap, cleaned, and offered with sincerity. People realized he was not just taking money, he was winning hearts. One day, a school teacher passed by and said, "Son, what you are doing is wonderful. Your intentions are pure. Do you want to study again?" Tears filled Akbar's eyes. "Yes, sir. I wish to study, but how can I afford the fees?" The teacher smiled. "Don't worry about fees. You just make the intention to learn. Allah will arrange the rest." Thus, Akbar began attending evening classes. During the day, he sold tea, and at night, he studied. This became the second turning point of his life. Months passed. One day, the same tall man returned to the station. Akbar recognized him instantly and said joyfully, "Sir, welcome back. Today, I have special tea for you." The man smiled and asked, "How are you, son?" Excitedly, Akbar told him how he now gave little gifts to people, how he had started evening classes, and how he dreamed of becoming a great man one day. The man was pleased. Bravo, son. You took my words to heart. That is the secret of success. Give to others and watch how the world gives you back in return. Time passed, and Akbar's reputation grew. From the station to the neighborhood, his name spread. He saved some money and opened a small shop. There, he sold not only tea, but also biscuits, notebooks, pens, and small toys for children. Years went by. With honesty, hard work, and the spirit of giving, Akbar expanded his business. He owned a bigger shop now, had several workers, and children lovingly called him Akbar Bhai. One day, the same tall man visited again. Seeing Akbar's success, he was astonished. He said, "Wow, son, I only said one sentence to you and you built your whole life upon it." Akbar smiled and replied, "Sir, you gave me a lesson no book could teach. You said the taker is small, but the giver is great. I made that my principle. Today, whether I have wealth or not, I have the greatest treasure, respect. Poverty is not a barrier, our mindset is. If we choose to give, whether it is love, respect, hard work, or even a small gift, the world returns it to us many times over. True success is not in money alone, but in respect and in winning people's hearts.